In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I made an ocarina. So this started when I was browsing YouTube and I found how to make a whistle out of clay. And I had never done that before, and I know that that was a very beginner task that some people do inside their first ceramics 1 class is making a whistle, but I had never even attempted a whistle, and I decided to try it, and unfortunately it was a lot harder than I thought. So I didn't tackle this going into trying to just make a whistle. I kind of just dove right in, which was a mistake, but I learned a lot, and I just tried to make an ocarina. Well, what I did wrong was I put a whistle-like mouthpiece, I guess you could say, or an air hole, a whistle air hole, on top of an ocarina body, and you can hear it right now too. So I got a slight hum, but I'll come to find out later that after making this is not what it should be sounding like in an ocarina. When you're trying to make an ocarina, you want a crisp sound, and that was the problem with the air passage. When I was blowing into it, the air was not, I later learned that the air has to be split in half. Basically, half of the air has to go into the chamber, and it builds pressure inside the ocarina body in order to create a sound. And obviously the air inside the ocarina, the pressure inside the ocarina vibrates, and that creates the voice of the ocarina. But I didn't realize how the ocarina worked, and I just tried to put a whistle on top of the ocarina body and just kept doing this, and I was like, I don't know why it's not whistling, and I'm following the directions on YouTube videos I keep seeing, and it's just like I didn't understand how they were whistling on the YouTube videos, how theirs was working and mine weren't. So I ended up just trying to play around with the ocarina. I ended up getting destroyed because I was just frankly I was a little mad that it wasn't working. I was so confused and I didn't know what I was doing wrong. Well, I found a really useful YouTube video, and I made my ocarina sound great, as you could hear there. I made it a lot smaller this time, so it was easier to tackle. Of course, that means a higher pitch, but I didn't mind that. In the future, I might make a bigger one, because I really like the lower notes of the ocarina instead of the high whistle. But, as I was saying, I found a really useful YouTube video, which I will link in the description below. So if you want to make your own ocarina, definitely go check this guy's YouTube video out. It was made like 11 years ago, but it's still so helpful when I was making this. Best thing on YouTube I could find, and it was like how the air passage works and the science behind why an ocarina even works. It was just really going So I'm going to go link that. Go check that out. I'll link in the description below if you want to create your own ocarina, and he creates a bunch of different types inside of his video. And after making this small handheld ocarina, which you could just take on a hike with you, like it's like very portable, very cute, I decided to tackle a much harder ocarina. So a lot of failures in this video. I failed again on the double one, but I just got ready. I just scrapped it early on, so I didn't have to keep playing around with it and waste too much time. I still learned a lot by scrapping the first ocarina, so I'm glad that I learned so much through that failure. But the next project I tackled, which was a double chamber ocarina. So I'm not entirely sure about the names of the ocarina, to be honest with you. I think it's called the double chamber ocarina, but basically what I did was I just made a donut shape, I guess you could say, and just completely solid. Then I cut it in half, and I decided to keep a wall in the center in order for there to be two chambers, two air pockets where the sound would be created on the ocarina. And then I created two whistles, two air holes, I guess you could say, on both sides of the ocarina. The right side for the right chamber, left side for left chamber, and then two blowholes where you'd blow in the mouthpieces in order to blow into both the whistles. So my goal with this one was to harmonize with the other side of the ocarina. So the left side would be playing hopefully like a C, and then the right side would be playing like an E or something. I didn't tune these by any means, so when you hear these, they will be so out of tune, and the high notes don't really come out super great, just because it's really hard to get a good high note. I'm just not experienced enough, of course. This is like my first time making a whistle ever, and first time making an instrument with clay, which I found super fascinating, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So it was great to try, and I learned a lot, like I said. But yeah, so back to the ocarina. So I made a bunch of holes in the sides, and what I was going to do was cuff both sides of the ocarina with my right and left hand and play with two hands at the same time and blow into both holes. Now, of course, you don't have to blow into both holes at the same time on this one. You can blow into just the right side or left side. The only issue is it does require a lot of air to blow into, because you just get if you try to hit the high notes on either side, you're gonna pass out. Like, it's like I have to blow all the air out of my lungs in order to get the ocarina to high pitched sound, because that creates a lot of air. But this is what the smaller one sounds like. So I was really happy with that sound. And then I just kept working on the bigger one until I was happy with the shape, and I wanted to get the clay a little thinner and lighter, but this one was a lot of fun. I don't think, like I said, it's very, it's not perfect in any way, and it's not very tuned at all, but I'm happy with the sound, and I had a lot of fun making these.
Not really tuned well, but I'll do that later, I think.
And that was my journey with making an ocarina. I had a lot of fun, learned a lot, and I definitely recommend the YouTube video in the description. Hope this inspired you in some way, and I will see you in the next one.